What's up? What's up? It's your girl Lightning, and it is Thursday. So you already know what time it is. It is time for Live with Lightning. Yes, I look forward to Thursday. Every Thursday. I love everybody that's joining me, everybody that's riding with me on the journey. If you're tuned in right now, welcome to Thursday nights, and you are Live with Lightning. It goes down every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, every Thursday night. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate sending stars. I appreciate you tuning in. Share the live, share the live, share the live. And as the young folks say nowadays, tap in. Tap in, okay? Every Thursday. So tonight, we are going to be talking about relationships and just taking a hard pressed look at how relationships used to be in the past versus how relationships are now. You know, old school, people was together 50, 60, 70 years, like forever. Nowadays, people together a couple months and it's like this over with. Marriages is ending in 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, there's no longevity these days. So we're going to talk about it, you know? So if you're tapped in with me, you can be live here on Facebook, or you can be live on my YouTube page and just go to @Live with Lightning. In YouTube, just type in @ and then Live with Lightning. Do that anyway so that you can subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? If you're tuning in with me, just keep following me everywhere I go. Everything I'm doing, support me. I support you, support me. So yes, that's what we're talking about tonight. Why are relationships failing? And what statistically is written, that there is a lot of lack of trust. There is a lot of lack of transparency. My biggest thing that I feel as though relationships are failing these days is because of communication. People don't talk. You know, you talk to everybody else about your situation, but you don't talk to the source. So if you're having a problem with your mate, or you're having, you guys should be able to talk. People don't talk. They talk to their friends. They talk to somebody else. They don't talk to the person at hand. And when they do talk, if they do talk, they don't keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? They don't really tell the good, the bad, the ugly, the truth. And sometimes the truth can actually hurt. You know what I'm saying? But if you stand on your truth and then the person gets hurt, yes, it's unfortunate. But at the end of the hour, when they calm down and everything regroups, they will respect that you spoke the truth. Like, I promise you, you know, so that's my take on why relationships are failing these days. There's no trust. There's no communication. There's no discussions of your love languages. Like, that is so important, to be able to understand your partner. And a lot of times it's not the big things that a person does, it's the little things that they pay attention to, you know, that makes all the difference in the world, you know, of just to know the simplest thing. Like, it's hypothetically, somebody finds out that you like Chico sticks, and then every time they see you, they got a Chico stick. You know what I'm saying? Just the little things, you know, and that's not happening these days. And it's a lot of social media. A lot of, you know, statistically, a lot of people say that due to social media, you know, that people is because it's going down in the DMs, you know what I'm saying? So people is cheating and doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just like, again, not keeping it real. You know, if you're into having multiple partners, then you should be upfront with that. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it 100, keep it real. So it's trust, lack of respect, poor communication, difference in priorities, and intimacy, you know. So as we talk about intimacy, some people are like, you know, sex it's not the basis of a relationship. Okay. It might not be the basis, but sex is definitely top tier. in a relationship. So if you're not attracted to a person physically and you guys do not vibe romantically, 9 times out of 10, you're going to step out. You know what I'm saying? And because you're not satisfied. But also, square one, communicate. You know what I'm saying? You've got to be able to communicate your sexual desires. Even if you started one way and you changed, whatever, you have to be able to communicate that so that your partner is aware. If a person has no idea what is wrong, what's going on, and you never discuss it, you've chosen to settle, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we should settle. You know, I think if you get to a point that it's not working or the vibe has changed, whatever, then you need to discuss that. Say, hey, we're in a different lane now, you know, we're in a different chapter, it's not working out, and move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, move on. But that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about why relationships fail. So if you are tapped in with me right now, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Hey, how are you? How are you, James? I have a show coming up with him. I shared the flyers, so definitely tune in for that. It's in the bedroom, and whatever happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom, and I will be performing. So definitely come check that out. Definitely come check that out. But yeah, that is why relationships are failing nowadays. People are not being honest about what they desire, what they want. And the women are not stay-at-home moms anymore. We're not Susie homemakers, you know, like our parents used to be. You know, it was, most women were homemakers back in the day. They just took care of the household, whatever that entailed. You know, the husband went out, made the bacon, brought the money home. And even back in those days, it was, some women knew that their husbands were cheating, because we have a lot of, you know, bastard children, illegitimate children, all of that, you know, children out of wedlock, all of that. There's all kind of, you know, stuff that occurred back in the day. So their men were definitely cheating, but women were cut from a different cloth then. They were like, you know, you take care of me, you take care of the bill. So, and they chose to accept certain things. Just my personal take, you know, chose to accept certain things because back then, a lot of people cared about what people thought, you know, so you got married and, you know, people, if you get divorced or decide that this isn't working, then people look at you like, there she go, you know. Back in the day, you know, your name meant something, you know, people talked about, you know, what you heard about Sister Johnson, you know, all of that, you know. And nowadays it's like, you still have that, but people are like, I'm grown, I do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's my life. So I think in today's times, people are taking, you know, their stance on, it's my life and I live it how I want to, you know, versus back in the day of things being taboo. People didn't want to do certain things because of fear of what other people thought. You know, back in the day, everybody was church, and, you know, it was rules and you had to behave a certain way. I think back in the day, people cared more about their image and the family and the name and all of that, you know, that they didn't want to get embarrassed, even though they technically were embarrassed because the men were cheating, were having children, whole marriages, whole families that they were creating, yet they were still married to this person, you know what I'm saying? But the women back in that era, they tolerated it, you know, because of whatever reason. And I'm not that old school, I'm a mid old school, you know, but I know that generation, like they went through violence, they went through abuse, they went through cheating, all of that just to keep the family together. You know what I'm saying? Not want to ruin the family structure. So if you chimed in with me, that's what we're talking about today. Why are relationships failing? Why do we no longer have 50 and 60 and 70th anniversaries? When I see it on my timeline and somebody is celebrating their parents or sharing with Facebook fam that their parents are celebrating their 60th anniversary or the 70th anniversary. I am just like, OMG, like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And just to have to sit down with a couple like that and know that they went through all these ups and downs and everything that they endured, and they still stuck together. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't drop ship because something happened. They were able to communicate, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the sisters, the mothers, the G moms back there was like, look, I know what you're doing, nigga. I know what you're doing. You think I'm stupid, but I ain't. But what you ain't gonna do is be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a code, you know? Like, yeah, you can mess with the bitches, but don't nobody know about it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know, I don't know. And correct. So Barbara chimed in and said, it's so easy to walk away. Yeah, there's no fight anymore. You know, you don't, and then it just starts to really question, like, is it really love? You know what I'm saying? Or is it just comfort? You know, are we getting in relationships because we're comfortable, you know, and not the true essence of love, where you know, no, you ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna work through this, you know. Now, I'm not condoning if you're in an abusive, toxic relationship. Absolutely, we don't need that. But if it's something that you guys can work on, you know, and you can communicate thoroughly and work on it, then why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not stand the test of time with your person if that's your person? If it ain't your person, then it never was meant to be in the first place, you know? So I totally agree with you, Barbara, that it's so easy to walk away. They don't have that backbone no more. But also, it's a good thing, because if back in the day you were dealing with knowing your husband was being unfaithful, or knowing your husband had children outside of you all's marriage, or whatever, had multitude of women that he was sleeping with, or bringing you diseases or anything like that, and you just tolerated it because you didn't want to deal with the embarrassment of people knowing or whatever, you know, nowadays, our generation is like, oh no, I'm not dealing with that. I won't. You know what I'm saying? I have no reason to. We're not afraid to be alone. Back in the day, I think women were afraid to be alone because, again, a lot of the women were the homemakers. You know what I'm saying? They were housewives. You know, even my mother, she was a housewife for years. And when she finally got a job, you know, it was just like, wow, work. You know what I mean? Like, it was foreign to her. But she didn't never have to work, you know. She was in healthy marriage relationships that they took care of her completely. She was codependent completely on her husband. And I don't like that energy for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be codependent on nobody. I want to grind, and we grind together, and we build, and you know, you got money, I got money, and we got money. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to have to depend on every single item from my husband, you know, or from my mate. I do not, you know. So Barbara commented and said, I walked up on my dad with his side piece, and I informed him that as long as my mother didn't need or want anything, we cool. You know, but your mom's intuition, I'm sure she knew. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But they choose to be quiet unless they say something because he's being disrespectful and just blatantly putting it in their face. But you got some women back in the day that tolerated that too. You know what I'm saying? Went on upstairs to the upper room while he was down in the basement. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but this era, you see, exactly. I know your mom knew, you know, but this day and age, women, they're not doing that. Men not doing that. I don't even think back in the day if men was accepting that their woman cheated. It was more women accepting men that were cheating than men accepting. I'm sure of that, probably, you know, but nowadays, it's a whole different era. It's a whole different era. It's a whole different era. And then we get into that mode of, this ain't working. Soon as you see the red flags, we out. We out. We're not putting in that fight unless it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? If it's worth it, then you definitely need to put up a fight. So, you know how I mentioned to y'all who've been following me, I tell you to tap in and send me an email if you have something that you want to hear me discuss, or if we're live and you don't want to share your live comment. Again, just reminding you, you can, if you can't tune in right and be live with us at 8 o'clock on Thursday, you can always watch the replays on YouTube. I want you to go to YouTube anyway and type in @live-with-lightning, the little @ live-with-lightning, and subscribe to the YouTube page. So you can always go back and rewatch the show, rewatch previous shows or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I did get an inbox about a subject suggested, and it actually coincides with what the show was already going to be about tonight, speaking about why relationships fail. So the person, I'll keep them anonymous, that sent the questions, they said, dating a partner with health issues, can a relationship survive without sex, sharing a house with your ex after you've broken up? Now, I don't know who inboxed me, but sounds like, it may be just coincidence, but it may be somebody that knows my husband and wants to know my opinion or whatever. I don't know, but I'm going to answer the questions because that is what I do. I ask you to do something and I return with what I promise. So the first question was dating a partner with health issues. That's a touchy subject, because what if you started off with a person and they did not have health issues and then they develop health issues? You've got to be able to understand and accept that, if that happens, but you also have to be able to communicate. Some people are in denial if they do have a medical condition that is enabling their intimacy life. Some people are in denial, but again, communication, you know what I'm saying? So because there are agencies, there's help out there, there's men's clinic, there's erectile dysfunction resources, you know what I'm saying, if a person becomes medical. So not even just erectile dysfunction, but what if a person, you've been married to and all of a sudden they develop cancer or they're, lupus or anything, develop any form of disease, how does that change the relationship, And again, that is going to be based on your history and how do you sincerely and truly love one another, and you're going to be there for that person, ultimately, unconditionally, you know what I'm saying? So all of that plays a factor. Can a relationship survive without sex? That's a tough one for me because I enjoy sex. I enjoy intimacy. I'm very upfront. I'm very forthcoming about my desires and how much I do love intimacy. So that is something, if I am dating somebody or before I got married, like all of my freakiness was disclosed, like, because I don't want to just bring it on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm upfront about all of my little the boops, you know what I'm saying? And people accept that and like, oh, I love that. You're adventurous, you're sexy, you really do live up to the sexual goddess energy that you claim you have. You really do possess that. They feel that, they recognize that, and then something changes, you know what I'm saying? So I think I personally, because it's not just about, again, if you've been following me, it's not about the penetration for me. You know what I'm saying? So if a person starts to develop health issues, there are other means, there's toys to play with. And if you've been following me, again, I have an online toy store, so you can go and check that out. I love adult toys. I love everything adult. I love everything sex. I love it, so always have. So now you know about it, is. But if we can't, so be it in a situation where a person, if they do start having erectile dysfunction, and all of a sudden they're no longer as freaky as they claimed they were when you guys first met, or whatever, you know, and then they're not interested to improvise with the toys, or, you know, okay, so now we can't do this, so now you need to perfect doing this, you know, you got to consider your partner's needs too, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I think that would be quite complicated to remove all aspects of sex, not necessarily just the penetration. Like, I can live with you no longer being able to penetrate, but if we can't have still an active, healthy sex life and it's genuine, you know, not fake, then I personally, I'm gonna have a problem with that. So the last question that was asked, and I'm really hoping and praying that Tiara chimed in, but sharing a house with your ex after you've broken up. Some things are, it is what it is. You know, when you are in a marriage and you buy property, you both have equal ownership. And if one party decides that they file for divorce and they want a divorce, we both have ownership in this house. You know what I'm saying? So you either become adults and make it, again, communicate, and then you make a decision who gets the house. It doesn't have to be, my first divorce was not contested. We understood, we were no longer on the same chapter. We still loved each other. We had beautiful children together. He was in my life. I met him while I was pregnant with Jaquan, you know, and he was a part of Jaquan's life. And then we had 2 daughters and we were married for 15 years. But we got to a point where it's not working. It was like, hey, we mutually agree, this ain't happening. It's not healthy. I was trying to stay for the kids, trying to do the old school, but it wasn't healthy. He wasn't abusive, but we used to argue all the time. I'm like, this isn't healthy. You know what I'm saying? This isn't healthy. This isn't going anywhere, but we still love each other. So we need to be able to co-parent. And we made a mutual decision to split the property we had. Everything was good, cool, no drama. This divorce, drama that I'm in now. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But the judge says we have to still live together until the judge finalizes the decision. So in my opinion, if a party files for the divorce, that means they no longer want to be a part of the relationship, then they should suggest moving and make sure that the other party is able to continue and maintain the household. You know what I'm saying? If you want out, then you should go completely out, not half out. So that's my opinion. And I hope I answered your questions. Good, Tiara. But if you're just chiming in, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about why relationships don't last nowadays. Why that, and again, my take overall is that it's because of communication, lack of communication, whatever it is. You know, so many people are in these relationships and they talk to their girlfriends, and I'm constantly like, did you have a conversation with him? Does he know that bothers you? And if they be like, well, I ain't want to say nothing, but how are you going to get resolution? I am one of these people that is like, okay, all right, we got a problem. Problems arise, shit happens, issues come up. So we take it and go, okay, this is a situation. How do you feel about it? Let that person get their opinion off. Here's a situation. Here's my opinion about it. So now we recognize there's a problem. There's a difference of opinion. So now we need to come, if we love each other and we are for building foundations, continuing to grow, having this nurtured, loving relationship, then we come to a mutual agreement of how we're going to resolve. I want resolution, not harp on the problem, or not tell a person that it's affecting you, but it is. You know, I'm not one of those that if you leaving your shoes at my front door bothers me, I am not going to not say nothing for 6 months and then all of a sudden blow up. You know, it's really been pissing me off about you leaving these shoes. Like, but people do that. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like you have to talk. God gave us a voice to speak. You know what I'm saying? Kevin chimed in and said, if it's a whole different era, why are you expecting or imposing archaeology? I'm sorry. Archaeological, I'm not saying that right. I know I'm not. Values and thinking to modern relationship. I think a lot of that, Kevin, is because of how we've been raised. So, some of the women today, maybe on this live, had those mamas that never left, never did, tolerated, chose to stand for that. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a generational curse, no different than some of the sisters that have gone through domestic violence. They may have witnessed their mother getting abused and they feel like, okay, well, I guess this is, he don't really love me if he don't hit me, because that's what I grew up with, but I definitely agree. Archaic. There we go. Thank you. I knew how to say it. It just wasn't coming out. Thank you. But I agree. I agree with you. It is a different era, and we should not be, bringing things from the past. There's a lot of good things from the past, because these relationships lasted. So if that's where you want to be in life and you want that longevity, you kind of do have to reflect back on those particular values. But technically, we really can't, you know what I'm saying? Because again, the majority of the women back in the day were homemakers. They were housewives. These women got degrees in running CEOs and CFOs and, entrepreneurs. Like, the ladies are doing it these days. We're not just sitting waiting on somebody to take care of us. We're out of that codependency mode, so yeah, it is. It's a whole different era. Hey, Jamal, how you doing? But if you're just tuning in, we are here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for Live with Lightning. And tonight we are talking about why relationships are not lasting as long as they used to. And I started at the top of the hour. We were talking about, nowadays there are trust issues. People are dishonest. They're not transparent. And I can't convey that enough, that sometimes the truth will hurt. Sometimes the truth will hurt. But at the end of the hour, if you are living in your truth and you stand on your truth and you tell the person you're dealing with the truth, and then they have a problem with it, understood, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got a problem with it, but once they calm down and settle down, they can come back to the reality and say, wow, well, at least she kept it real with me. You know what I'm saying? At least she told the truth. Like, that made all the difference in the world. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to intentionally hurt somebody. That's not cool. But if they get hurt by you telling your truth and being truthful, that's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? That's unfortunate. But at the end of the hour, again, you're going to be more grounded, more happy with being honest, Thank you, Erica. Erica sent stars. Thank you. Kevin chimed in and said, you don't know shit about someone's relationship. I see these 70-year-old anniversaries too, and you will never know exactly what actually went on. Right. When you chimed in a little late, but we talked about that. A lot of these women went through knowing he had other children outside of their marriage. You know what I'm saying? They witnessed that. They knew. Barbara chimed in, said she actually caught her daddy on a mission with some chick, you know what I'm saying? And he flat out told her, don't hurt my mama, you know what I'm saying? And my mama better not never find out. And she was cool with it, But back in the day, women didn't say much. You know what I'm saying? They didn't talk about it because, again, they didn't want to be embarrassed. They didn't want the people at the church to, she taught, whatever. She dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wanted everything to be hush hush and keep it quiet unless we can deal with it in-house, you know. But nowadays, women, they not going for that. You know what I mean? What we women doing today, unfortunately, we still be falling in love with potential. I wrote a whole poem about it. You know what I'm saying? We be falling in love with potential. Because you meet a person, you see so much in them, and you're like, oh my goodness, if they would just listen, and you know, we can do this together. Like, and you like, yes, and then, but you never communicate. You know, you're developing all of this in your mind. You're creating this person. You see the image of the individual, but you don't put them in the, you know, in a different job, a different atmosphere, different house, everything, but it's still the image of the person. You know what I'm saying? But in your mind, the growth of the potential of this person, of what they can do, that's what you see. But you got to get back to the reality. Is this what they doing? This what they doing? This is, you got to live in the real. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening nowadays. Too many women fall in love with potential. But back in the day, and even back in the day, we used to have arranged marriages. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, yeah, your son gonna marry my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. And they were building families, or, you know, building legacies back in the day. But definitely had to be quite a few things that went down in a 70th year anniversary. They done went through some things. There are some wonderful things. I mean, some other stories out there that they really haven't. You know, they might have had little spit spats or whatever, you know, but I've actually had a conversation with one particular couple before, and they were very, you know, they were celebrating their 65th anniversary. So I just wanted to ask them, I said, how, you know, have y'all ever had issues with cheating or anything like that? And they were like, nope. And they were like high school sweethearts. So basically, they had only been intimate with each other. You know what I'm saying? And I even asked the mother that I was talking to, like, so you never wanted another to see something different? She was like, nope, you know, that was the only penis she knew. So that was the penis she stuck it out with for 65 years. So it's possible. It's possible, you know. But when they had spit spats, I even asked him about arguing. She was like, he would just go in the other room and I'll see him tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But now people pack up and move and they done with you. It's no communication. You know, nobody wants to ask the hard questions, or why do you feel that way? Why have you changed? What's different? Nobody wants to hit those hard-nosed questions. You know, so if you start hitting the hard-nosed questions, then it will open up some dialogue. And you mean, I prefer verbal communication. I want to look pupil to pupil so I can feel your energy and realize if it's legit or not. But if you can't communicate pupil to pupil, write that shit down. You know, send an email with a whole letter, whatever's going on. That's a form of communication too. You know, you've got to be able to communicate. So my take on why relationships are failing nowadays, people do not effectively communicate. What say you? For my folks timed in, you're live with Lightning. It goes down every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And tonight we are talking about why relationships are not lasting 50 and 60 years. Why are relationships failing now? Another thing we talked about at the top of the hour, we didn't have social media back then. You know what I'm saying? So social media is a lot of interaction with folks, a lot of love in the box DMs. What you doing? What you know? So some lady feeling some kind of way, like, okay, you know. So it's like, definitely the times will change. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Kevin chimes in. Thanks for sending stars. I appreciate it. You can always send stars. I appreciate the love and support. So if you're tuned in, definitely send some stars, or you can hit my Cash App, Lightning One. But Kevin said, people can make their mouth say whatever they want unless you got Wonder Woman's lassos of truth, you will never know. Very true. Very true. You only know what somebody tell you. You know what I'm saying? But at least I'm just saying, all I'm saying is, if you open your mouth and you about to tell somebody something, don't lie. If it's something that you don't want to share with them, or you feel like there is this none of their business, say that. That ain't none of your business. I don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But don't lie. But if it's in your relationship, certain things you do have to disclose. You have to be honest about it. You know, if you have dealt with a person, and so you meet a person and they tell you that they've been married multiple times, and the first thing you think is it sex? Like, what, you know, how did all of these previous relationships end? Why have you had multiple marriages? You question that, you know, because that's almost like an immediate red flag. But you question it and then you get an answer. And if the answer makes sense, and then you deal with a person and then you like, okay, well, it definitely wasn't that, you know, then you're confused. Like, was it really that? Did they lie? You know, and then something changed. So I just say, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. Vaughn chimed in and said, yes, they do effectively communicate. It's just not with the person they should communicate with. Facts. Facts. We talked about that at the top of the hour. They talking to everybody else. Anybody that will listen. Just like developing the bandwagon of haters to hate this individual. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. You ain't never met a person. You ain't never interacted with a person. You ain't never had one single conversation with the person. But just by listening to a person and what all they have to say, then you hate this bitch, or this is that bitch, or she's doing this, when you don't have all the facts. You don't have all the facts. You don't know what a person is dealing with behind closed doors. You don't know, you know? And mental illness is real shit, you know? So this is real, you know? So Erica said, people don't keep it 100 anymore. Dot, period. Like my little nieces taught me that, and I took it. I told them that night, TC Lightning got that, gone with it. So big dot, period. People don't keep it 100 anymore. I feel I am a very open to things if it makes sense, but I always give you the opportunity to be transparent. Where are my sound effects? Bravo. Bravo. We just need more people to be transparent. For real. I mean, just whatever it is, just do it. You will experience the amount of freedom, you know, with just telling whatever, saying whatever. The amount of freedom that you have of walking in your truth, it is so empowering, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is. And it is definitely always three sides to every story. There is. It's your opinion, their opinion, and our opinion. It's your opinion, and our opinion. You know, and that's, again, that's why you have to communicate. You have to communicate, because I have been in direct situations where I may have felt a certain kind of way about whatever. And my partner had a whole different perspective that I didn't even recognize. I didn't even recognize it until we talked. Then he was able to see why I saw it this way. By communicating, I was now able to see how he saw it this way. And if we're able to share that, then we can understand why there was a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? Because, excuse me, I felt like you were going this angle. And then you coming back, no, I was meaning this. And then when you listen and put it all together, like, oh, I can see how you could have thought that. Now you hearing my perspective, I can, oh, damn, I can see how you could have thought about that. And you move on. You move on if that's what you want to do. You continue to build. You know what I'm saying? Any situationship, relationship, whatever you're doing, you're supposed to be progressing. You ain't supposed to stay at square one. You're supposed to keep progressing, keep making money together, keep grinding, keep building, get better and better and greater. That's the goal. Whether you're married, situationship, relationship, whatever, you all should be progressing in some form or fashion. If you in side chick world and that's what you are, or you the side dude, then y'all should be progressing to take weekend trips, like baby steps, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just be, you know, in the bathroom at the club, and you know, that ain't what we doing. You gotta keep it moving. Keep it moving. So definitely I'm with you on that, Erica. There's definitely 3 sides to every story. Hey, Keisha. Yes, communication is key. I'm gonna keep saying that. Because I'm telling you, I have heard some truths and I'm like, damn, that kind of hit me. You know, I wasn't expecting you to say that, or I wasn't expecting you to just like that. But at the end of the hour, I respected it. You know what I'm saying? I respected it because you told me the truth. Whatever the truth is, if you dealing with somebody and then you ask them outright, hey, is it just me you intimate with? Or, you know, these are questions that you should want to know, you should ask, that you should talk about if you're being intimate with somebody. And you ask them, hey, am I the only person you're being intimate with? And they come back and not a lie and say, no, actually, you're the 4th person I'm being intimate with. You know, you might be taken aback a little bit, like, well, damn. Okay. All right. But at the end of the hour, now you know the truth. Now you can decide if this is what you want to deal with or not. And in this day and era, they deal in them realms. They all right with being number 4. They cool with that. They all right with being number 2. Like, they all right. Everybody is living their life however they want to live it. You know, people are owning their truth of bisexuality. They're owning their truth of homosexuality. They're owning their truth of being polyamorous, solo polyamorous, whatever. They are in loving, healthy relationships, whatever it is. People are in that realm right now. They're coming out the shells. You know what I'm saying? They like me. You know, we ain't playing that no more. That's why my throat chakra was blocked, because there was so much that I think I was keeping in, because I did have that old school mentality. My mama was old school. She didn't want everybody in her business. She didn't, but she was doing some shit, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want nobody to know, you know what I'm saying? And now my throat chakra is unblocked. It is. And I feel amazing about it. I do. And if you've been following me on this journey, you know, I'm just getting amazing or any more amazing. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Boom, that's what I'm doing. So if you just chimed in, you are live with Lightning, and this goes down every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And tonight we are talking about why relationships are failing nowadays. So if you want to comment, you talk to me, I talk back. And don't forget, you can watch me live on YouTube as well. So go to YouTube and at Live with Lightning. If we're ever live and you have a question and you don't want it to be public, then you can definitely email me at livewithlightning@gmail.com, or you can be in the comments. You know what I'm saying? You could be in the comments. Don't be ashamed to make a comment. But if you don't, cool. Email me, Live with Lightning. Live with Lightning. That's what we're doing every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's what we're doing, you know? So if you're just chiming in, we started at 8 o'clock. We are talking about why relationships are failing. And we've had a very good discussion about it. My personal take is because of communication. there's lack of trust, it's kind of hard to, the moment you detect a person has lied to you, whatever the smallest thing is, it can be, no, I didn't eat your candy bar. And you just saw him eat it. The slightest little moment of dishonesty puts you in the mode of, I don't think I can trust you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say, well, white lies don't lie. I think any lie matters. All lies matter. All lies matter. Don't lie. Unless you're doing something funny real quick, haha, and it's a quick joke, I was just playing. Something like that, okay. But straight up just lying for no reason, don't do that. Don't do that. You scroll back. Yes. So y'all start communicating in y'all relationships, whatever it is you want to be. If you're in a relationship and you're not happy and you're no longer happy, you guys are not able to communicate and work those things out, don't continue to settle. If you're in a situation, my sisters, and you become codependent on this man because he supports you, or you're in an abusive situation and he's already made you abandon all your friends and family, and you don't feel like you have anybody out there, there are resources out there available for you. You know what I'm saying? Get with my organization that I'm a part of, Diamond Divas Empowerment Foundation. You know what I'm saying? So there's resources to help you get out of toxic situations. Let's stop settling. If you've been the one trying to communicate and the partner is not receptive, because I've heard that too. They're trying to communicate and the brother's like, you on that, you've been talking to that lightning shit, you know what I'm saying? That's just that bullshit, whatever. If he's not willing and open to communicate with you, you don't need that. You don't need that energy. You know what I'm saying? You should want to be your whole self, not half of you, So if a person doesn't like that you smoke and you sneaking and smoking, that's being dishonest. You can't be yourself fully, if that person, if you're not willing to change for that person, then that might not be your person. Just that plain and simple. And it's hard to accept that. I get it, but if that ain't your person, then you messing it up for somebody else. That can be their person, so get somebody else to do it. That's what we saying nowadays. Get somebody else to do it. Just like this one ain't working. Get somebody else to do it. Right. Deb just chimed in. Hey, Deb, I swear. Yeah, we ain't playing that no more. We're not. We just get you try to communicate. They not listening or don't want to listen or not taking you serious. Cause I've had that before too. I really have. Cause I've had conversation with several of my friends, strangers, I possess that type of energy where somebody will feel comfortable and trust me and ask me for sound advice, and I'll give it to them raw or however it is, whatever the subject is, I'll do it, but there are a lot of situations where, women are one offered to get marriage counseling. You got some women I heard that will own their truth and recognize that, okay, yeah, I've been tripping. I'm the toxic one, or I need to change, or I did whatever, my behavior is unacceptable or whatever, and the brother still don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That he doesn't feel like it's a problem, or telling them, I've literally heard that. You've been listening to the lightning. Lightning ain't you. You ain't lightning. You ain't, you can't think and be like lightning. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking anybody to be like me, but if the sister is trying to communicate with you about whatever it is that's bothering her, and you are not allowing her to communicate with you or offer suggestions, and you just want to block her out, make it make sense. Then that means to me that you don't want to put effort, or you don't want to get trapped in the corner where you got to expose your truth. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. So yeah, This has been a great conversation. This has been a great conversation. We're just talking about relationships. Why they don't last these days. I've tried marriage twice. I've tried. First time, 15 years. That was that. Second one, we ain't even make it to 7. We had 4. I got married November 18th of 2018, and I'm already in divorce court. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But at the end of the hour, I will stay grounded in my truth and respect his wishes of wanting to be divorced from me. That's fine with me, you know? So, right, tell Kevin, I'm trying to figure out what you commenting back for. Right, tell her hit the road. What was that about responding to? The woman wanting to communicate with him? Tell her to hit the road? No, it hasn't. There's been typical female dribble. The whole show been typical female dribble, Kevin. Really? So you tell me why relationship? Because you're in a relationship. You're not with marriage. So you tell the people why relationships ain't working today without the female dribble. If she don't like it, right. If she don't like it, then she shouldn't be there. You don't use no person either. The whole damn show. You know what, Kevin? This has not been, I agree with you on some points. You know what I'm saying? So stop it. You kill me. Ooh, I still love you though. You kill me though. Right, Eric. If she don't like what he talking about, you know, you don't even know why you in a relationship. Now that's a whole problem. Now come on now. Not you, not Kevin. No, sir. You know exactly why you're in a relationship. Because she is in the relationship with you on your terms, and they just so happen to be in agreement with what she wants. That's why. What'd you say, Eric? Is it Kevin Williams? Didn't I say if you was gonna cover her, you had to listen and be open? He's been listening and he's been open, but you know, Kevin, just be Kevin. That's what it is. He been open, but this whole show ain't been no female dribble because I have agreed with you on some points. This was not a male bashing show at all, sir. Deb said it is a problem when we voice our opinion, where we have to listen to all they BS. Facts. You got to be able to take it both ways. You guys got to be able to communicate. I'm telling you, communication will fix so much. It will. And if you can't verbally communicate, write that shit down. Go on and send an essay text message or whatever. But I prefer voice to voice, eye to eye, so I can pay attention to your body movement. You know, you should want to do the same because you can detect what a person is feeling, how they're feeling about what you're talking about in mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? So that's all you can in the mid conversation. How did that affect you? And another thing that when I speak on communication, let's talk about allowing a person to completely communicate and not cut them off mid conversation because you are only listening to respond, listen to comprehend, let a person get, even if you start feeling like, I don't agree with this, I don't feel, you tripping, whatever. When you get into that mode, then you shut down. You're no longer really listening, okay? So stop doing that. Let a person verbalize everything, whatever it is, let them get it out, let it get it all out. And then come back with your response or commentary, whatever. All right. Right, Kevin. Everybody's telling Kevin to stop. We love Kevin, though. No, you do not stop, Kevin. Kevin, you keep coming here. Your differences of opinion is lovely. I love going back and forth with you. Been since I met you, so it's all good. I got Kevin. I can deal with Kevin. I got him, y'all. He says, I don't have a lot of relationship experience. I used to have a lot of chicks, right? Because that's how you was out there. You was living your best life. Right. I agree, Erica. I know I love them sometimes. We love them all times. He said, you definitely ain't got to listen to me. That's why I don't live with or marry y'all. If I see you get married, I'm going to be so excited. Y'all been together for a minute. So I don't know why you ain't married the beautiful sister that you are with, but that's your opinion. That's your opinion. They can't reciprocate. Yes, that's very important. A lot of women, we do get into that mode of, the truth hour. We want to talk about it. We always want to talk about something. But the men always, most of the time, be the ones that shut down. You got a lot of men out here that do communicate well. And I commend that. I love men that communicate, whatever it is. Whatever it is. I'm telling you, let me know all the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, the in the corner, in the crevice, and the look, ain't nobody. Tell me all that. Tell me all that. So I know what I'm dealing with. So nobody should ever be able to come up to me and be like, well, I heard, you already told me about that. I already know. I'm already aware about all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There is nothing wrong with quick rebuttal. Absolutely. If Kevin get married, I for 4 on the wedding. Right. I'm telling. Oh, you got 5 on it. You got 5 on the wedding. I'm telling. We're gonna turn up at Kevin's wedding. If Kevin gets married, I'm telling you, we turning up. I'm gonna do a whole custom poem for you and everything. Yeah. That's for sure. So tonight has been truly interesting. I have enjoyed the live conversation. I do enjoy the live conversation every week. So every Thursday night, it goes down live with Lightning, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Kevin's last comment, and we're going to wrap up the show, is that if I had $1 for every woman waiting on me to get married, just the ones I promised to invite to my wedding, if I ever did, would fill Busch Stadium. Oh my God. Kevin is a hot mess, but we all love Kevin. We do. He's super opinionated, but we love him to death. He said, no, Deborah said, no, I'm talking about when interrupting a conversation with a quick rebuttal. Well, I get what you're saying, a quick rebuttal, but sometimes that quick spurt is that you might interject in the conversation it kind of puts you in the mode that you are listening to respond. You know what I'm saying? To respond, that quick rebuttal where it is one thing to be like, well, no, but if you're disputing what they're saying or disagreeing what they're saying mid-conversation, my personal take is just let them get it all out and then, come back to it, versus the interjection. But we've all done it. You start hearing, especially if it's bullshit, then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Now you already know, you know what I'm saying? But we just got to do better. We got to do better with communicating. But I'm firm on, let a person get it all out and then you respond. You know what I'm saying? So, said we'll talk for 39 minutes, talking in defense. Yeah. Never get into the mode of talking in defense. You know what I'm saying? Because literally, as they're talking, you're not listening. As soon as some viewpoint strikes you differently, then you immediately coming back with, you know what I'm saying? Like, learn to communicate effectively. Allow a person to voice all that they have to say completely, whatever it is, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And if you ask for the truth, be prepared for the truth. Okay. If you ask for the truth, be prepared for the truth. But just do it for your life's sake. Start living your truth. Start really speaking your mind. Start really effectively communicating and watch how your life changes. watch how your life changes. That ultimate freedom where you're not trying to remember lies you done told, who you done said that to, and all. Just if you keep it a buck, if you keep it 100, you ain't never got to remember nothing, because the truth stands and it does not need any support. You know what I'm saying? It does not. It does not need receipts. It don't need nothing. The truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. Period. You know? So everybody that has chimed in with me tonight, I totally appreciate it. I thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that sent stars. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Kevin. Anybody hit my Cash App? I haven't seen that yet, but if you did, thank you for that, to keep the show rolling. But we will see you all next Thursday. I will be in Punta Cana. So I might be on the beach with my swimming suit live, okay? But we are going to be live, okay? I am taking my equipment with me. So you guys are going on vacation with me next week, and I will let you know what we're going to be talking about on Monday, okay? All right, so thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget, follow me on YouTube at Live with Lightning on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to my page. Don't forget to share the lives. Go back and rewatch some of the old shows. And if you ever, again, want to join me on my live, or you have something you want to hear me talk about, don't forget to email me at livewithlightning@gmail.com. But thank you so much for tuning in. Nothing but love for you. Mwah.